Hey everyone, it's Jamie, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. It's still Wednesday, so I'm doing great. And today I would just like to talk about summer fun and too much of it. So many people have been calling me, how do I get rid of those extra 5 pounds that I put on this summer from too much fun and partying, and I can't fit into my jeans. They're all too tight. I don't want to buy bigger ones. Let's see. Is Rachel on? I'm waiting for Rachel. She's going to be my guest tonight. So I'm just going to give you some tips on how to drop like those extra 5. And it's not complicated. It's simple, and you won't miss that extra stuff that I'm going to tell you to swap out. So really what I'm going to share with you tonight are a couple things: an avoid list and a swap out list, so that you're not feeling deprived. So what we teach our clients is how to, there's my Rachel Canner. She's my guest, and how come I can't invite you? It's not letting me invite you, babe. Try going on with your phone and see if I can invite you on. All right, so I'm just going to share this avoid list, and let me know later if you want to have it emailed to you or whatever. I'll give it a shot. So what we like to do is we like to dump the dairy, and instead of the dairy, swap out almond milk, unsweetened, coconut milk, unsweetened, and you won't miss the dairy. I've talked about dairy before in my other Facebook Lives. Really, truly, we don't need it. The other thing we like to swap out, you heard of Wheat Belly, swap out the gluten. And that's not to say you can't have carbs. I talked to a girl today and she said, I just can't go on another no carb diet. Please tell me that's not what this is. I'm like, oh, I love carbs, all right? But gluten is not good for you. And it's because of how they spray the wheat. We already did a subject on that. So I swap out for the carbs, the gluten, brown rice and quinoa. So I just made amazing dinner for my son tonight. I made grass-fed beef marinara sauce with quinoa pasta and fresh basil and fresh tomatoes, and it was amazing. So instead of regular pasta, I just swap out the other brown rice and all of that. Hi, Lauren. Anyways, so that's what you're going to swap out. Soy, believe it or not, soy, all that soy is not good for you. You can have almonds, you can have cashews, you can have nuts, you can have all these other things. Peanuts and peanut butter, swap that out for almond butter and cashew butter. It tastes just as good, and it's way better for you because peanuts are so heavily sprayed and they can be allergenic. And so if you are not knowing what you might be allergic to, let's just dump it all out so you can get rid of that extra weight around your middle and start to feel better, okay? We dump out the sugar. Obviously, you don't want to be adding sugar, causes insulin levels to jump, and then, it causes your body to store fat. So, you can have coconut sugar, artificial sweeteners, totally toxic, totally poison for you. Do you know that at the end of a year, if you just got rid of all that, what is it? Sweet and Low, and what's that blue one? NutraSweet. It's so poison. It causes cancer in rats. You shouldn't have it in anything. All right. At the end of the year, you'd lose like 9 pounds. It's so unhealthy for you. So dump that. Let's talk about coffee. That's my main thing. All right. So we want you not to dump your caffeine. You could still have caffeine, but here's the deal with the coffee. Okay. I'm just going to share a little bit about this. First of all, Rachel Canner, I cannot invite you, and I don't know why. What does it say? Splenda is the enemy. Yes, it is. Okay, and Rachel's dumped her coffee. So maybe, Rachel, you could just post. I don't know why I can't invite you. There's nothing by your name, sweetheart. So it must be something. Invite to broadcast. Oh, technology is our friend tonight. So if you accept connect.
Yes, we're connecting.
You can be over 50 and still use technology. Yes.
I don't even know how to do this, but I do have my Jamie Canner clip in my hair, so I look like you.
Okay, so tell everyone about your coffee addiction, how many cups a day, how you drank it in the afternoon, and what has changed your life from dumping the coffee and replacing it with a fizzy. You're on.
Okay, well, first and foremost, I do want to talk about the almond butter with the apple, because when I go out at night and I come home and I'm hungry from, just dancing or whatever activities I'm doing, I want something sweet. And the other night I came home and was living my best life, and I was like, I'm starving. So I go in my fridge, I take an apple and I cut it and I dip it in the almond butter, and I wake up and I was like, oh, I'm so full, but I had a yummy snack. So I was happy when I came home in fall, and then I woke up and I didn't feel like death that I
And
had
what would
eaten.
you have done in the past when you would come home?
I would have ordered Chinese food and it would have had the cream cheese wontons and been such a little fatty, but it was amazing because I actually was full. I was like, how did I just have like a drunchy, healthy snack? It was incredible. So I did it.
Or you would have gone, what's the cake place around the corner?
Oh, it's not open that late. But anyways, okay, so the fizzies. So
Coffee.
I used to drink so much coffee because I was working in a really stressful retail environment where you needed to be on your game. Like, it was like the Devil Wears Prada, but like in retail real life. So I needed to be on my shit. And in order to do that, I needed to be like a little cracked out on caffeine. But the problem was I'd be really hyper. I would drink it and then I would crash. So it would be like a robot. And I would drink like 3 or 4 cups of coffee a day. And as much fun as it was, I would get home and be like a zombitron and be exhausted. And then I started implementing the fizzy sticks. They used to come in tablets. This is how I'm addicted to them. I used to be a tablet girl. Now they're in the little packs. But I have 2 or 3 if I'm feeling really crazy of those a day. I have one in the morning when I get to work and I'm super energetic and I feel like I could rob a bank. And then at 3:30 or like 2 o'clock when, you know, you feel kind of like exhausted and you're like, oh no, that's when it hits, when you need another coffee, fizz it up. Sometimes I like to mix it with like a little lemon, or what I like to do is put some fruits in it with like a little bit of water and then make it delicious. Or you can mix the fizzies. And it totally changed my life. I also lost like 5 to 10 pounds by accident. And people were like, oh my God, did you lose weight? And I was like, thanks for calling me fat, but yes, I did. No, it got rid of all of the like that extra 5 that just like sits around your waistline. Gone. I'm now like a 0 and an extra small, which I haven't been able to fit into since 2009. So really, I look really good and I feel so much better. And I'll have coffee every once in a while, but it makes me sick now. Like I taste it, I'm like, yeah.
Doesn't it feel like gross in your stomach? Like all.
Yeah, because the dairy makes me want to yucky. Oh, the lemons are so good. Let me tell you. Also, put in like all sorts of yummy fruits in there. I also, you know, if you're out and you are having a drink, it really is great with vodka. So you can have a fizzy with your vodka. We did it when we were in Vegas last year. Remember, Mom?
Not having a drinking show tonight. We did that chapter a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, okay. But anyways, no, it's a game changer. I love my fizzies. You can also mix the fizzies together. You can put a little palm and a little of the lemon, but it's so good. I'm a fizzy girl forever.
Yeah, and here's the thing. You know, they did a study, and the study showed that the fizzies are loaded with a lot of vitamin B, and that they actually had a similar effect as Zoloft. Okay.
Oh my God.
Calm energy. And that's the problem with the coffee. The coffee is not a calm energy, and that's why we have you pull it out in the short term. It's a hyper energy, it's an irritability energy, it's an acid in your stomach energy. And
no, the fizzies are the best energy. It is like an energy boost. You feel like you're riding on the train to Happy Town. and you're just like, woo, let's go. Right? It's awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm just going to go over some of this. Please stay with us, Rachel, in case I need you. I'm just going to go over some of the side effects of the coffee, because no one's saying like you can't drink coffee ever again. Like a lot of my clients and a lot of my, friends, they never go back to it, but some people do. But the problem is you never want to dump it in your stomach first thing in the morning. And that's because coffee, here's right from, what am I reading? Health Ambition. Okay, drinking coffee on an empty stomach, such as first thing in the morning, stimulates hydrochloric acid production. And this should only be used to digest meals. And most people just drink that coffee and there's no food in their stomach. And that's why it's really bad. And so protein digestion is affected by a lack of hydrochloric acid in the stomach. And so it just causes, like, it's a hot mess in your belly. All right. And so some people say that, you not some people, but you do have a second nervous system in your gut. And so when you start out first thing in the morning and dump that coffee in there, it and it makes it acidic and it's very unhealthy for you. And so I recommend everyone start their day with like like a warm detox tea or a warm tea with lemon. We have a tea and that I drink, and I put a digestive enzyme in there. And every now and then I drink low acid coffee, but I never put it in my stomach first thing in the morning. It's really unhealthy, and I don't add any of that creamer, which is terrible for you. What do you love? Almonds. Kara loves almonds. I know the almonds are the best. The other thing is that if anyone has any ulcers, irritable bowel, acidity, it says many of the compounds in coffee, like the caffeine in coffee, it's different from the caffeine in green tea. Okay, the coffee beans can irritate your stomach and the lining of your small intestine. So it's not so healthy for you. The other thing is heartburn. What else? Mineral absorption. This was really interesting. Heavy coffee drinkers may have difficulty getting enough minerals in their diet, even though you eat mineral-rich foods, and that's because the coffee affects iron absorption. Okay, not like heavy on the coffee. I know Rachel pretty much given it up, and a lot of people really have once they get through it. And the studies show how Rachel was saying you used to, get like all jacked up and then crash. That's what happens from the coffee. It's a crash. Whereas what these fizzies do is they give you a calm energy, and it lasts like, I don't know, what do you think, Ray? Like 3 hours?
Yeah, but I wouldn't say it's a calm energy. It's the best energy. You feel like you're on a natural high.
Right, but it's not like a shaky energy.
No, and the coffee too, after if I do have a coffee every once in a while, I remember why I stopped drinking it, because it sits in your stomach. You can feel it going through all of your intestines, and it just like, ugh. But with the fizz tabs, it goes down smooth, and you don't feel like, oh, I'm taking something. It just is a part of whatever you're drinking.
Yeah, and it does give you that good energy as opposed to...
Oh, it's the best energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it puts you in a good mood. Like you're like...
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, so it makes you happy, whereas coffee kind of gives you that up and down and that crash.
It makes you a little cranky, the coffee cranky crash.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what happens, because most people drink the coffee with either sugar or nothing. So it's kind of like a symbolic event for them. Coffee in a donut, coffee in a bagel, coffee in a cookie, coffee in a, or
right.
coffee
in a no bueno.
But yeah. It's not, it's really not good for you. And you're a perfect example of, someone who's young and like is, going at it and really needs to have their energy because they're, crushing it in the world. And for many people, that 2-3 o'clock crash, they're reaching for coffee, junk food, sugar. And so, if you need to get, your energy back, reach for a fizzy instead, because the coffee is also, here's interesting. Drinking lots of coffee promotes the release of stress hormones, cortisol, and epinephrine, and these chemicals increase your body's heart rate, blood pressure, and tension levels. So in essence, we think that we need to drink coffee to give us energy, but really for many of us, it's turned in kind of a jittery tension thing, and it makes it difficult to relax. And of course, you drink coffee and then late at night, I know a lot of people and they're not sleeping well and they don't realize, that they're having their coffee late at night. It's just not healthy, and I know there's a lot of studies that say drinking 1 or 2 cups of coffee a day is good for you and does all this stuff. I'm not going to argue with the studies. I'm just going to say, for this purpose, for those of you that want to dump those extra 5 or 10 pounds from too much fun this summer, let's go to the avoid list and make coffee one of those things we ditch just in the short term. And then if you decide you really need to go back to it, Trader Joe's sells low acid coffee, and don't put any of that icky creamer. I use unsweetened almond milk. And thank you, Ray, for joining us. She's like signed off, but that's okay. The other things, interesting, alcohol. Okay, so if you're trying to lose a few extra pounds, dump the alcohol. It's full of sugar. I did a whole thing on what alcohol you can drink after you're at maintenance or after you dump the weight. But most, wine and drinks, they have a lot of sugar, and the sugar, causes us to store fat. The other thing that you want to take a look at, I know it sounds so funny because people are like, fruit is so good for you because it's all natural, and can't I just eat whatever fruit I want? No. If it tastes like candy, like watermelon and peaches and grapes. It's very sugary. So just in the short term, swap out all the fruit for strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, and green apples. Like Rachel was saying, she came home, she had almond butter, crunchy almond butter, and a green apple. Just for the short term, I promise you, you'll feel better, and your body won't be like on such a sugar high. You won't crave as much sugar. Get rid of all the non-organic meat. So we just recommend, because that has hormones in it, just, grass-fed beef and organic turkey and organic chicken. Get rid of everything else. The other thing we want you to do is, instead of white potatoes, eat sweet potatoes. Like I make homemade sweet potato fries all the time. Corn, boo on the corn, boo, boo, boo. It's heavily genetically modified. Don't eat any corn. Nitrates, MSG, and believe it or not, vinegar. I posted a picture of, I took fresh tomatoes from my garden. Oh my God, they were like heaven. Fresh basil from the garden. And someone made a salad with like fresh mozzarella, which I didn't really eat the mozzarella, but instead of the olive oil and the vinegar on the salad, I just put the olive oil on with the fresh basil and the tomatoes, and it was delicious and it was amazing. Vinegar, very acidic. So you kind of want to dump these things. You're going to swap them out. You can have olive oil, grapeseed oil, coconut oil, flaxseed oil. So these are just some tips. You can have the almonds, the almond butter. Just swap this stuff out just for 30 days. I promise you'll start to feel better. And if you really want to learn more about like what we're talking about, these fizzies, I'm happy to share with you. They've been a game changer for so many people in my world and in my life. And so is this program. It's really helped me feel better and have more energy, and helped so many of my clients do the same thing. And so I'm really passionate about, helping women and men, but, primarily women, get healthy and fit and live a healthy, wealthy life. So I hope some of these tips tonight will help you lose those extra 5 or 10 pounds you put on from having so much fun this summer, because fall is here. Game on. We got to get back in our jeans. I'm happy to post, or if you message me and hit me up. If anyone has any questions, I'll answer them, after the Facebook Live, or if anyone has any questions now, I'm happy to comment. I thank you all so much for getting on. It's so much fun for me when people get on and they listen and they tell me they watch and they got a tip, and it makes me feel like, I'm leaving the world just this much better for sharing what I love to share about and how to be healthy and feel better. So peace out, everyone. Wellness Wednesday to everyone, and thank you so much for watching. It means the world to me. Mwah! Let's get healthy. Bye.